Hi, Boan. Welcome to 10 Minute Talks. I'm Harshadeva. Today, I'm really happy to welcome Jenna-Lee, joining us from South Africa. Jenna-Lee is a peace builder and counselor with a background in psychology, English, and peace building, with strong focuses on using narrative approaches to prevent gender-based violence and support healing from trauma. She is the founder of Tales of Turning, an initiative that creates safe and inclusive digital spaces where communities can heal, change harmful narratives, and prevent violence, grounded in local realities and designed to reach people at scale. Jenna-Lee, it is really a pleasure to have you with us.
My first question is, you work a lot with story, trauma, and healing through digital spaces. What was the moment or experience that made you realize stories could be a powerful tool for peace and social cohesion?
Thanks so much. It's so lovely to be here with you and everyone else today, everyone who's listening. And I really love that question. So I studied psychology and then I did masters in peace building and discovered narrative therapy, which I just fell in love with and became so passionate about. And it's all about how we can reauthor the stories of our life, both our personal stories and our collective stories. So when I started Tales of Turning, it was working with mothers in under-resourced communities and informal settlements, working with narrative therapy and how they can reauthor their stories.
All right. Through your work with Tales of Turning, so you create safe digital space for dialogue and healing. In a very simple term, how can storytelling actually help bringing divided communities together?
Yeah, so I'll take you through how we do this. So the first step is deeply listening to understand and to really understand the stories. And stories are so much more than only narratives. They really reveal, if we listen deeply, they reveal the root causes of violence. What are the underlying things? What are the stories we're telling ourselves and the communities are telling? And the beliefs that are leading, because we work a lot with gender-based violence and peace building. So what are the stories and the beliefs and narratives that are underlying the violence? And so what we start off doing is using social media listening tools to scrape all the data from public social media, which is a really amazing way to listen to thousands and thousands of people. It's unfiltered conversations, it's in near real time. So you get a really in-depth understanding of the narrative. Then we look at how can we get people to reflect on what they believe, and really it's really looking at dialogue. So the other two directors of Tales of Turning are very experienced peace builders. They were part of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, the peace accord, the transition to democracy. So we've taken all the in-person peace building work that you would do and how you would dialogue and adapted it to social media. So we actually train people, peer educators, university students, community-based organizations to go onto social media and to actually engage in conversations using the principles of dialogue. So listening, asking curious questions, getting people to reflect on their beliefs, reflect on the information. So like critical thinking, reflect on the information they're consuming. And then we also work with communities to create social media content that amplifies their knowledge and their narrative on social media. So I think what's been really incredible for me is adapting narrative therapy and storytelling to an online environment, because globally, we spend 2.5 hours on social media a day. So it's really affecting the stories that we're telling. And then in South Africa, that's even higher. So it's really important that we're also working in the space of social media And very excitingly, we've started working with AI recently and how we can use AI for dialogue.
You, after working with many community narratives, uh, what is one lesson about peace or human connection that really stayed with you and changed the way you see social change?
I think there's many key insights. We work a lot with trauma, so around reauthoring our stories and healing trauma, because we take the perspective that hurt people. So while people are completely accountable for their behavior and violence, those people are hurting others because they themselves are hurt and they need to reach out for healing. Another important thing is really around collectively working together to reshape our stories. The world is in such a difficult place at the moment where it's going to take all of us to recreate the world in a way that's more healing and includes everyone. And I really think it's important. So as we know, and on this podcast, I'm sure you've featured many people that are doing incredible on the ground community work, building work. And so technology, social media, AI is an incredible way to amplify this work that's been done on the ground. I think something else I wanted to add is that we work a lot with mis and disinformation and hate speech, and we've developed methodology of how to get people to critically reflect. And we've done 3 studies with the University of Washington and University of Zurich showing that this methodology reduces mis and disinformation by 82%. And so I think we really need to reflect on how mis and disinformation is reshaping our personal and collective narratives in very harmful ways. And so the methodology we've developed is really not saying, we know the truth, this is what you should believe. It's asking people to reflect on information before they just believe it, reshare it. And so that I think is something very important when we're considering storytelling, to look at how traumas affecting storytelling, how we can heal and reauthor our individual and collective stories, but also how mis and disinformation and hate speech, which often is very coordinated, is disrupting and reshaping our narratives in very harmful ways. And how can we all take action to stop that from happening and to amplify community stories and knowledge that are more healing and nourishing and helpful for the world.
Thank you, Jenna-Lee. It was really a pleasure to talking with you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for all your great questions and for everyone for listening.